His weather after a very lengthy journey across from the American Midwest, where he won the Wisconsin Open on Saturday. Caught the plane here and arrived early this morning. Whether Kazakis might be flagging a little. Maybe the jet lag is starting to kick in.
Yeah, I think he's entitled to be a little bit tired, just like our referee, Mr. Lehman. He's also flown in from the same event that Kazakis was at.
Rack number 1.
But at least it's just a race to 5. It's like that short little sprint, and it's the last match of the night. So he can just put all his focus into this one match. Well, we've not seen a dry break for a while, but this is going to be one.
Well, I don't know whether the playing characteristics are changing on this table, but we had, I think it was 3 dry breaks in the previous match, so maybe they're cropping up a little more regularly. Of course, Carl, you've had quite a rivalry with Shane Van Boening yourself over the years.
Yeah, in the Moscone Cup, and I've actually played him quite a lot as well in singles events over the years. So I know a lot about his game and
Extension, please.
Obviously how good he is.
That's the scene across the arena. I was thinking, you know, when he completed that 5-2 win over Skylar Woodward this afternoon with a golden break in the 7th and last rack. I was thinking about when he won the Whirlpool Masters at Darren Appleton's expense one year in the final. Had 2 golden breaks in that match. And when you're as good as him, you don't need luck.
No, it's always nice to win them quick free racks. It's not when you're on the receiving end of them, though, sat in your chair.
And talking of quick racks, how about that? Did you see it go in? It flew in. The 3 billiard onto the 9. Both balls went in quickly. The cue ball almost followed, but in the end, it is 1-0 to Shane Van Boening. How about that?
Yeah, that was incredible. I mean, he knew the cue ball was going to go into the 9, but it was just the speed it all happened.
He really is a phenomenal shot maker, though, isn't he?
Yeah, without doubt, one of the greats of 9-ball pool. Some would argue, come the end of his career, maybe the greatest of all time. That's up for debate.
I think the shot that ended the rack is definitely worth watching again. Now, that's slow motion, and it still went in pretty quickly. I think he's watching that shot on a screen in the arena himself. He liked that one, and with every justification. Yes, the 3 was fully played. The 9 ball going in, that was a very agreeable bonus. Shane Van Boening is very good, but he's not that good.
Rack number 2. Current score is 1-0 in favor of Mr. Van Boening. Mr. Van Boening to break.
Possesses a lot of power on the break, as you've just witnessed. Needs that 6 to move out the way or stay over the pocket, because he's going to be shooting the blue 2 ball. Yeah, well judged. on table 2. Lucius Yap wins his first rack of that match. He trails Max Lechner 2-1. Max has not had the best of times today on the pool table. And neither's Yap.
Yeah, and by the way, it is a Lucius. Carl Boys is absolutely correct. Just to explain, the American commentators at the US Open were calling him Aloysius. We've been calling him Aloysius, but from the horse's mouth, he said, no, it is Aloysius.
Speak many a language, me, Phil.
The break-off was sturdy, and this is the consequence. Swiftly, Shane Van Boening leads Alexander Kazakis 2-0. They're a little further advanced over on table 2. Max Lechner 2-1 up on Lucius Yap, who's at the table in rack 4.
Playing the push out. So this is obviously after the break. And he's played himself into a jump shot. Now does Max fancy himself for this shot? If he doesn't, he'll be sticking Yap back at the table.
If you are a very skilled jumper and you know the person you're playing isn't, the push out, if he can push to a jump, is a no-brainer. I'm not saying that's the case here, but that is one general principle.
Yeah, without doubt. Obviously, pool players, you know, they play each other all over the year in all the different tournaments. And, you know, you play
Extension, please.
You play each other numerous times over the seasons, so you sort of come adapt to strengths and weaknesses. You've got to use that to your advantage.
Track number 3. Mr. Kazakis to break.
Just to update you, Yap missed that jump shot. And this looks a tidy break from the World Pool Masters champion. This, of course, is a little rerun of that final.
And one of the most extraordinary scorelines I think we've ever seen. The way it all happened was remarkable. Kazakis had played a very poor semi-final against Eklund Kachi, even though he won it, riddled with mistakes. And then he went into the final and beat Van Boening. Nay, he whitewashed Van Boening 9-0. Wasn't the best player at that tournament by any means, but ended up with the trophy.
Yeah, that can often happen in sports. You don't always have to be the best player who picks the trophy up at the end. Sometimes it's just meant to be. You're not always going to perform to your best ability, travelling around the world, different time zones, and sometimes you don't feel as good at the table as other days, and you go through a lot of emotions. That's not, you know, regular people who just follow pool, they don't really see all that or understand that, but you're not always going to feel your best at the table.
Kazakis was greatly helped by someone who's here today, Kelly Fisher. He came off after the semi-final, was inconsolable about the poor quality of his performance, and she gave him, well, let's say, a reality check.
Knowing Kelly Fisher, she probably said, yep, Alex, that was terrible, but look on the bright side. It can't get any worse. This is a tricky little shot into the right centre. Yep, nicely done.
Especially loading up with check side. That really is one common characteristic of this table all day. The players have been finding it delightful to screw back on.
Yeah, brand new cloth, brand new balls. So the reaction makes drawing the cue ball back so much easier. Playing this round the table, and he's played that really poor. Completely miss it, that. He's a good 2 or 3 feet from where he should have been there, Phil.
And after that, psychologically, got to be frank, I don't fancy him to pop this.
Yeah, he's been known to miss a few balls under the cosh, but you just feel that win at the Masters has changed his mindset a little bit.
Oh, he just wriggled in that 9-ball off the near jaw. It caught a lot of jaw, but went in regardless. That could be a big moment, you know. It's a game of fractions. Shane Van Boening's lead trimmed to 2-1. It is the nightcap on day one of the Predator Q's Premier League pool. The last match of 12 that we've seen here live on table one today. Shane Van Boening, the great Shane Van Boening, breaking off with a 2-1 lead over Alexander Kazakis. Well, he's got a shot on the one, but work to do to drop on that 2.
Yeah, can he pot the 2 ball if he gets that cue ball down near the bottom rail? This is quite a nice shot you're about to witness. Just watch the cue ball. Yeah, so when you're just off straight or straight, you can spin it into the ball you're potting, and the spin helps it spin down table. It's a bit of a trick shot. Doesn't pot, he's going to be playing safe. He's going to just kill the cue ball there.
Attention, please.
But he's got to make sure he gets the 2 ball out from the bottom right hand side. That's what he's looking at. He doesn't want to be catching the 7 ball with the blue 2. It's important he misses that so the 2 goes up table. Getting a good cue ball is not a problem here. It's just making sure that 2 doesn't hit the 7. Yeah, and that's fine, Shane. It's not the most difficult of hits, but at least he's got to do something.
Attention, please.
Just in case you're joining us for the first time today, it's a 30-second shot clock in operation, and in each rack, a player has one 30-second extension, which Kazakis took there. Composed himself, made contact, but
SVB has a lot of cue power, and he's going to need it. He's got to get that cue ball back down towards this side of the table. He might just pot it and sort of get the cue ball over to the left on the other side and just risk leaving a pot. Didn't want to catch the 6. He can still see enough of this pink 4 ball to cut it in. But I don't know if you can pot it and avoid cannoning the 9 or the 7. Bit of right English, he'll probably just be fine. He probably won't cannon them 2 balls. And he's missed it. He's actually caught rail first there. That's why the balls have flown all around the table. He missed the contact on the way down. Playing this ball into the bottom left corner.
10 seconds.
Even if he catches the rail, the pocket will swallow it up. Like that. He's going to scratch.
Foul.
He scratched off the 8. Didn't mean to cannon the 8 ball, and in doing so, you might think it's a little bit unlucky, but the cue ball should be nowhere near that 8. He was trying to find the gap. It wasn't a big gap. And SVB's got ball in hand.
10 seconds.
yes, what a damaging scratch that is going to be. Floats in the 6, down for the 7. (3-1) looming.
Well, he'd love to have been another foot to the left. He might have to play this with topspin now. Oh, he's playing it low, so he's going to be powering this ball in. He's not got much angle there. Oh, that was a nice shot. Very nice shot. Manipulated the cue ball there. Made that look easy.
Looking good for Shane Van Boening in this one. He leads now by 3 racks to 1. The scratch, as is so often the case when you go in off late in a rack. Very costly. Now, what was costly for Max Lechner over on table 2 in this rack, he had the chance to put Lucius Jaap right in behind the 9 ball, but he didn't get hold of the cue ball enough. They just skidded out into open play. And having not been trapped, Jaap then made the most of it. So 3-2 there. Shane Van Boening today started out relatively late. He played the last match of the morning stroke afternoon session, defeated his fellow American Skylar Woodward 5-2, and now he's looking good here.
Rack number 5, our current score is 3-1 in favor of Mr. Van Boening. Mr. Kazakis to break.
That works, Carl. The 1 ball catching the near jaw of the middle pocket and running into a bottom pocket.
Yeah, and the cue ball's rolled down table, and he's got a thin snip at this. Pink 4 is going to be the ball after he pots this blue 2. Now this is a lot thinner than that camera angle tells you. There it looks like he can just cut it in at ease, but there you see, just that is a lot thinner when Kazakis is down on the shot. That looks a lot different to what it looks to us. Now this cue ball needs to slow down because the 6 ball, he's forgot about the 6 ball, Phil. What's he done here? He can still go off the right hand side rail. This is quite a popular shot in 9 ball. You go off the right hand side rail and you still pot the 4 in this bottom right pocket.
Extension, please.
Not one to blow me on trumpet, Phil, but I was phenomenal at this shot back in the day.
Not one to blow your own trumpet.
Oh, you could have a laugh, haven't you? And that's what he attempted. So the poor positional shot, you would think he's going to cost him this rack now.
I'm still going over you. That's like Pavarotti saying he's a reasonable singer. He's a contented recipient, is Shane Van Boening. But you're on a hiding to nothing if you keep giving him gifts.
That's where you want the cue ball on this type of shot. You just play this with a bit of low left English, spin the 8 ball up the rail, and the spin on the cue ball will bite back down towards just to miss the scratch on the right hand side. Often the players use that second rail. The reason why they do that is so you can just let the cue arm go. And just like that, he is on the hill.
Yes, and what's really ominous for Kazakis is that Van Boening is breaking off in rack 6. Coming to the culmination of another rack over on table 2. Jaap about to draw level with Lechner. It is 3-3. Tell you what, if Max Lechner comes away from today with nothing to show for it, empty-handed, after playing 5 matches, the most of anyone, that's cruel.
Yeah, that would be a pretty nasty spot to be in. You would have come here with high hopes as well. I mean, it's hard to see any player in the field being none from 5, but especially Max Lechner. As we said, and we've said all day and night, day one, you know, you're not going to be out of the equation, but you can certainly do yourself some damage.
Yes, poor old Lechner. He lost 5-3 in the first session to Albin Auschen, Oliver Sholnocki and David Al-Kadi. And tonight, beaten 5-2 by Alexander Kazakis.
Practice number 6.
And now on level terms late on with Yap. Question here, can Shane Van Boening finish with a flourish?
The foul.
The vagaries of 9-ball pool. When he completed victory this afternoon against Skylar Woodward, he did so with a golden break. This time, the ball that's in is the white.
How many times have we seen this, Phil, in the Mosconi Cup? Somebody's 4-1 up. A little bit of luck turns the match on its head. And all of a sudden we've got action. This is what he's good about race to 5s, though. I mean, as a player, do you like race to 5s? Probably not. But you get these little twists. If this was a race to 9 and Shane's 4-1 up, all of a sudden you're relaxed more, aren't you? Because the first half of the match has gone your way. But a race to 5, we do see a lot of comebacks, or certainly comebacks from 4-0 and 4-1 to make it a bit of a match. Needs to just hold the cue ball here. Don't want to not cue with this one nice, because the cue ball can get lost. And he's done a tidy job of that.
The trouble is when you break off as well as Van Boening and you decimate the balls, if you do scratch, far more often than not, you're going to leave your opponent right in amongst them.
Cue ball's tight on the rail. Didn't want that. Key thing here is just make sure you keep your whole body still. Don't like the way he bridges on these shots, though. Feel like you can move that left arm when you bridge like that. Doesn't look very solid. Can he hear me, Phil? Did he hear that?
Well, if he did, considering where the arena is in comparison with his commentary box, he's the $6 million man.
Yeah, we're not in the same room. We're tucked away.
It really is a no-no, scratching on the break. Shane Van Boening's victory celebrations will have to wait. They've been delayed somewhat because Alexander Kazakis not going down yet, but he is 4-2 adrift. latest news from Stadium MK, I can tell you that just a few seconds ago, Lucius Yap potted the 9 ball in the 7th rack to take a 4-3 lead over Max Lechner on table 2. Lechner could end the day fruitless. Well, in went the 1, but the 2 not really playing ball.
Safety shot looks pretty basic here. If you have a look at the pink 4 and the green 6. Just got there, I believe. Might be able to play a little swerve shot. But the main thing is he's not left Shane a pot.
Extension, please.
Needs to rail. Needs one of these balls to get moving. The 2 ball just hits the rail. After contact, a ball must hit a rail or be pocketed. So yeah, the 2 ball just hit the rail, but he has left Alexander a pot. However, it's better than giving ball in hand up, because it's not easy. When he pots this ball, he's got to try and avoid cannoning the 9, the pink 4 or the brown 7. The cue ball is going to come down towards that line. And he's missed it. And well, is the 7 going to come to the rescue? It is. That's a fortunate roll.
And the quality of that shot, or the lack of quality of that shot, did not deserve the end result.
So he's trying to fire this cue ball into the 2 to pot it. He's got to watch the scratch. And he'll be happy with the outcome of that as well.
A wall of balls down the spine of the table. But I think Kazakis could have made a better job of that.
And it's Shane's turn to make a mess of that. He's trying to kick behind the 2 ball to stick the cue ball in its place and send the 2 up table.
Well, the way he hit that, at one point I was questioning whether I was looking at the wrong table. He was never, ever going to reach far enough across the table to be on the 3. Never.
I think what's happening here, Phil, is what you brought to the table at the beginning of this match. Both players have flown in from America. And I think a little bit of fatigue is setting in. I think both these boys just want to unscrew the cue and go and get a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
Bit like yourself, Phil. You've been nodding off, haven't you?
Well, I made the very lengthy journey last night from Wolverhampton covering the Players' Championship snooker. It's about an hour and a half's drive. Not jetting in from another continent. And the double from Van Boening. Not even in the right zip code.
No, this is a lot harder than it looks. Of course, if he just had to pot the 3, you would pot it every day of the week. But he's got to pot this 3 and get the cue ball all the way back down the table.
10 seconds.
Looks like he's going rail first. Yeah, he was going rail first. It was a nice shot.
Well, Lechner is going to be miserable Max. That is 5 matches played today, and would you believe, for the Austrian, it is 5 defeats. Alusha Shap wins by 5 racks to 3, gets his first point on the board.
Yeah, that's a shocking day from Max. And that's not shocking from Kazakis. Nice bank shot there to stay in this match. 4-1 down to SVB.
Yeah, seeing that length of table double go in. Reminiscent of when he was the victim of one of those in the deciding rack of the Whirlpool Masters final. What a dramatic finish that was when he took on David Al-Qaedi.
Yeah, that was a classic final, wasn't it? Back in Gibraltar when David made the full table bank on the 9 for the title. Incredible.
You felt for Kazakis that evening, but the fact remained he had his chances and he was 5-0 up at one point. Proving resilient here. So 4-1 becomes 4-3. The good thing for Shane Van Boening fans, of which there are legion, is the fact that in the 8th rack he will get to break off. So another chance to get over the line. All of the action now over on table 2 for the day. 12 matches scheduled, 12 matches completed. But still unanswered questions on table 1, Carl.
Yeah, that's right.
Considering the travel schedule, it's been a really good day for Kazakis. He beat Skylar Woodward 5-3. He beat Max Lechner 5-2. And in the end, you know, when it comes to deciding the 10 players through to the next phase, or even the top 6 players through to the phase after that, it could come down to racks 1. So even if he doesn't win this match, the 2 racks he's just bagged from 4-1 down could be valuable.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
4-3 in favor of Mr. Van
Kind of
Boening.
taking it a little
Mr.
bit
Van
for
Boening to
granted
break on the
because
hill.
it's the first day. And you know there's plenty more pool to come. SVB breaks. Is he going to get a shot of the 1? You can certainly see the 1. How thin that actually is to pot is obviously very difficult to tell unless you're behind the shot. And the 2 ball is also up towards the top end of the table, so that's something to think about as well.
And adding even more complexity, Don't know whether the 3 would possibly go past the 8 if he gets that far.
Well, he's been round to look, hasn't he? Can he pot this ball and hold to play the 2 in the same pocket? No, he can't. That's why he's hit it hard. And yeah, he's almost just potted it, hasn't he? And almost relied on a little bit of lady luck.
Well, the potential problem with the 8 ball has been resolved at least. But another one, a bigger one, has been created. Self-imposed snooker on the 2.
Attention, please.
I believe he's going to attempt this pot into the top right pocket. In the back of his mind, he'll be thinking if he misses it, if he hits the top rail, he's going to guarantee some form of distance because the 2 ball's going to come back down the bottom end a little bit like this. Maybe he played safe. We will never know. But he will have known that that can happen. So it's a good shot. Can he see enough of this 2 ball? No, he can't. I just wondered, could he see enough of the 2 to make the 8? But he can't. He can definitely clip the edge of that 2.
Attention, please.
But answers on a postcard. How to get this safe? You would think if he runs the cue ball back up towards the table, the 2's going to stick its nose out. It's going to stick its nose out, but he's played it in such a way where he's tried to bounce the 2 back off the side rail. And as long as Shane can't put the 2, it's not a bad result. He could bank it into the top pocket where Shane stood, but he's got to worry about position then. He might have a go at this, Phil.
Might even manufacture the potting angle with side.
Yeah, I think at this stage of the event and the sheer time it is, I won't be surprised if he has a go. Yeah, nice shot, Shane. Very nice shot.
The master shot maker. Just got down. Very little hesitation. Sweet as a nut.
Yeah, it was a beautiful bank shot from Shane. Kind of was forced into that. Didn't want to mess around trying to play safe. He would have backed himself all day long to make the bank. It was just making sure he got position on the 3, which he did, and it certainly looks like he's going to wrap this match up. As he has a little shake of his head there. What's he shaking at? Probably just the sheer distance the cue ball has travelled. Wanted to be a little bit closer to his work. But I mean, he's still okay. He's milking it a little bit.
Yeah, the great Shane Van Boening doesn't miss those. If he can convert this, which is looking increasingly likely, I think it's fair to say the better player in this short match has prevailed.
I would agree with you there, Phil. I think you're right. I think overall it's probably a fair result on paper.
The old stock shot running side off 3 cushions. It has been a light work day for Shane